Pay me, pay me, pay me my silver now. Pay me or go to jail. Pay me my silver now.
Bix Weir, roadrunner.com. With your morning horners, here's your sip of chaga coffee. If you haven't seen it yet, I posted a discussion about China, Evergrande, and the theory that I've had for a long time that all countries will shut their borders. The country that will have benefited the most since we went off a gold standard in 71 will be China. China was a third world country with a gigantic population with no hope for the future. We went off the gold standard. China was allowed to build itself up and take over the manufacturing capacity of the world. Obviously the bankers wanted that. They wanted to shift the emphasis away from the West over to China so that they could take over that part. Those guys are being pulled out. What's going to happen when the banking system collapses is every country will be throwing their arms around their own country, their own assets, their own people, and shutting their borders down to globalization. That is the end game on the road to Ruta. And we are seeing that now start to develop as Evergrande, I think largest or second largest real estate development company, who is massively into derivatives and you name it, they've guaranteed it. They are basically imploding, and the Western creditors are trying to exert Western laws on a Chinese national. Basically, Evergrande has been nationalized. It ain't going to happen, my friends. Any corporation that owns property in China is going to lose it. They either do what China wants them to do, which, socialism, they want free things for their 1.3 billion people. So this is all breaking down. I talked about that, what's going down with Evergrande. A hedge fund is trying to get their hands on assets, and a distressed lender type of guy said, yeah, we'll get it. We can get it. No problem. Yeah, if the laws of the West can be applied to a Chinese company, that's all well and good, but it can't. So what happened was they were trying to nationalize this part, the Versailles Palace, huge development, over $1 billion they value it at over $1 billion. And then as of last night, China came in and said, not so fast. You're not going to repossess anything. So here we have China. Evergrande may be forced to sell Hong Kong land that it pledged for a loan. So the hedge fund vultures are coming in trying to repossess the assets they thought they had clear claim to, and Evergrande's saying, no, you're not going to do that. We're not going to let you do that. You're a criminal. We don't like bankers. You're an idiot to be investing in China in the first place when we can shut our borders and nationalize all the lovely manufacturing buildings and Apple computers facilities and all that. Is, if it's on China's property, it is China's property. It's got nothing to do with the Western laws. China is going to make the decision of who wins and who loses. Ultimately, they will shut their borders and stop shipping out any goods. We've kind of seen it already, but it's going to be total. Then you have the nationalization of all the foreign-owned assets in all of China. It sounds drastic when you think about it. I mean, how many corporations are invested in China? There's trillions of dollars over the past 50 years that has gone into the Chinese infrastructure of foreign national companies. Like even power plant, GE has all this equipment and facilities and power generation, and every corporation who's big enough, Starbucks and KFC, all that will be nationalized. And they will lose because they made a very, very bad judgment that globalization will last forever, and it will not. You're investing in a communist country. What do the communists like to do? They like to give out free things. They like to take control of the means of production. So that is exactly what we're seeing. China Evergrande may be forced to sell Hong Kong land that it pledged for a loan. Receivers have been appointed to control assets that China Evergrande used as collateral for a $500 million loan that was advanced to the company in January 2021. Somebody's investing in Evergrande in January 2021. The property developer said in a Hong Kong filing made late Sunday. The asset involved is a plot of undeveloped land in Yulong, Hong Kong, for a residential development. Evergrande, the Chinese real estate developer that's been struggling with paying interest on its debt, especially to foreigners, they just don't, is seeking legal advice on the matter while it's in active talks with the lender to resolve the issue. Still, the company said it doesn't expect to appoint. Well, here we go. This is Evergrande talking, aka the Chinese Communist Party. Still, the company said it doesn't expect the appointment of receivers to have a material effect on its operations or financial position, nor is it expected to affect its debt restructuring process. Basically, they said they don't give a shit. You can appoint any receiver you want. We are not giving up anything to the West. You lose, you Western criminal bankers. While the filing didn't identify the lender, distressed debt manager Oaktree Capital Management is reported to be the creditor that used the land as collateral for a secured loan, the Wall Street Journal reported, citing a person familiar with the matter. There's a possibility, now these are highly leveraged hedge funds that I think this is a Michael Milken disciple, how to get rich off the bones and the carcass of a destroyed company. You can't do it in China. They're not going to let you. There's a possibility that the company may get a little extra cash from the value of the land to pay some of what it's due to offshore creditors. That will never happen. This is the stupidest thing ever. They do not plan to pay anything to offshore creditors. The best this company to do, in my opinion, the best they could do to get any value out potentially is to throw more money at it, finish the project, and then hopefully collect rent. But even the rent will not even get paid to you. Nothing is going out to foreign creditors. Nothing. Pretty soon the banking system will be shut off. They've already bifurcated. Long ago, they bifurcated the Chinese stock exchange. There's foreign owners there's two classes of shares of stock. They're so ready for this. This has always been the plan, to take these criminal bankers and say, get the hell out of here. There's a Class A stock certificate, and there's foreigners, or to the whole world is open, and then just domestic holders of stocks. Which one do you think they're going to honor first? They care about their own people, like everybody should. The United States of America, you should care about our own people. Oh, by the way, did you see that Canada is up in an uproar? I love this. I absolutely love it. Check it out. Canadians screaming about freedom. They sound like the Americans. I love it. Australia's doing the same thing. Everybody's saying, screw you. The United States will do it when we're ready. We still feel a little free. A little bit. Just wait till the chaos comes down over the next couple months. Just wait. You want to see people screaming for freedom? The United States is born in us. It is inbred in us. People will still think the bad guys are going to win. Like Dick Allgaier and the crypto viewing guys, they still think the bad guys are going to win. They ain't going to win. There's a tipping point that will come. Canada has hit its tipping point, and now Trudeau is running away saying, I have COVID. That's the latest. It cracked me up. Oh, good thing you got the shot. You got COVID, you idiot. So, yeah, very interesting news. Anyway, the China Evergrande thing keeps developing, and still the same answer. But we have gotten to a point where the rating agencies are so far behind. Evergrande has already defaulted, and they're all cross-defaulted, all these guarantees that they have. The thing is, the rating agencies can't say that because it would expose the reality that China's not playing by Western rules and laws. China is going to nationalize everything, every single thing within its borders. And then other countries will try to nationalize Chinese assets within their borders, and ultimately that's going to happen. Everybody's going to put their arms around their own country and try to rebuild their nationalism and get rid of the globalists. The globalist bankers are the worst. They're the dredges of humanity, and they've been trying to play these games. I've said it long. Even the Road to Ruta documents, that's exactly what the teacher's guide said in the Road to Ruta documents. They talked about, will Colorland, which is the United States, be trading again? Means they stop trading with its with Mexico and Canada. That's exactly what the teacher's guide said. When this all goes down, will globalization trade ever resume again? I don't know, and they didn't know. Globalization is ending. And what does that mean? Every country is going to put its arms around itself, put their troops on the border instead of, the United States has troops all over the world. Bring them all home. Put them on the border. Mexico will have troops on their border because they don't want anybody to come into Mexico. Yes, Mexico is going to finish the wall, like Trump said. Why? Because they have the number one most valuable asset on the planet. Silver will be worth so much more than gold, I can't even calculate it. And it always has. It should have been. It should have been for the last 150 years, except the bankers got control of the price of silver, the pricing of silver. The pricing of silver is on the COMEX, which is a derivatives, futures, and options trading floor. Has nothing to do with physical silver. All right. Where is silver? Like I said Friday, the derivative con is on. They got to hold the price down for at least 3 days. So those who bought or shorted silver or bought silver long on margin get squeezed out. There's not many. It's a tiny game. But then they wait for Tuesday. After Tuesday's close is when they report the commitment of traders reports, and it's going to be a big change. The slam down has given Bank of America and friends the ability to close out some shorts. Not much. And that's the question. That's the question after Tuesday is when the rise starts, are the banking criminals going to short into the rise? That's the only way. The only sellers are going to be the banksters who are short. Those are the only ones left. There are no other sellers. All the tech funds, when those technical barriers are breached, which are currently 50-day moving average at 2280, 100-day moving average at 2319, and the 200-day moving average at 2450. As you can see, we're hovering down below. None of the tech traders will buy until it goes over those numbers, and then all of a sudden, who's going to be the seller? If Bank of America doesn't continue to massively short, which they do currently, there will be no seller of silver contracts. And what happens when there's no sellers and you have trapped tech buyers? Boom, moonshot. In a freely traded world, but as we know, it's not freely traded. And the criminals at the COMEX, I mean, at the end of next month, Don DeBerry Stump, the last COMEX CFTC person. It is insane. There's just two left, and then it's just Rustin Benham, the criminal that loved to tamp down the price of silver, is the last one. The CFTC is defunct. CFTC, CFTC.gov. There is nobody left. About the CFTC, the chairman and the commissioners. Two. The commission consists of 5 commissioners appointed by the president with the advice and consent of the Senate to serve a staggered 5-year terms. Don DeBerry Stump is leaving a year and a half before her term is up, although they said, oh, yeah, her term is up. It's bullshit. She is leaving a year and a half before her term is up. And that is April 1st. So she's out of here after the first quarter. Then it's just Rustin Benham. How can you have a CFTC with only one commissioner? It is insane. The insanity of what this institution, this regulator is supposed to be doing versus what is really happening. It is just shocking. It is shocking. The criminality of market rigging is alive and well on the COMEX. So you can erase Don DeBerry Stump. Just erase her. She's gone. She's already given her notice. I can guarantee you she's not even showing up for work. Who gives their notice and goes to work still? Nobody. She's a figurehead. CFTC organization. This is the big one, the advisory committee. You want to see who pulls the trigger on this stuff? The Global Markets Advisory Committee. These are the people telling people what to do. Here you are. If you want to see the criminals, Angie Karma, GMAC chair, entity reporting Nomura Securities International. Chris Allen, Standard Chartered Bank. Ted Backer, Morgan Stanley. Ashley Bellick, RBC Capital. These are the people that we have to go after because they are telling the figureheads, Don DeBerry Stump and Rustin Benham, what to do and how to do it. As a matter of fact, all these people have to report to Don DeBerry Stump. She'll be gone. Now they report to nobody. These are the real criminals. Sean Bernardo, TPICAPCSEF. Darcy Bradbury of D.E. Shaw. Maria Chidoti, Credit Suisse. Joseph Kizwinski, Better Markets. Jim Colby, Coalition for Derivatives and Users. Jerry Corrigan, R.J. O'Brien and Associates. Look at all these people involved that they have to have in the manipulation of gold and silver. Where's the real criminals? I'll probably put them at the bottom. Yep, there they are. Oh, it's their names last two. The BlackRock, Supura Vedbrat, and Masahito Yadama of JP Morgan and BlackRock. Criminals. These people are needed to rig the markets. They tell Rustin Benham what to do. And then you have subcommittees. Look at this. I mean, this is all these people. BlackRock, Barclays, it's the same people. JP Morgan. All these people are coordinating with each other to help rig our financial markets. And they are required by law to rig financial markets. That is the goal of the CFTC. Where's their about the CFTC? The commission chairmen, they have a saying that they had to change. Where is it? The mission statement. The mission statement of the Commodity Futures Trading Commission is to promote the integrity, resilience, and vibrancy of the U.S. derivatives market through sound regulation. I don't see anywhere it says the U.S. Commission of Futures Trading Commission, the Commodity Trading Futures Commission, is to promote the adherence to the law. Do you see it anywhere in there? No. Integrity, you don't have any integrity. Resilience means they got to continue to help assist in the rig. And vibrancy means throw as many derivatives as you can at every single market and make it more vibrant. And the CFTC vision statement, to be the global standard for sound derivative regulations. Shocking. And what did Bart Chilton tell us? JP Morgan was rigging the silver market back in 2010 to 2018, and there was a political decision not to take them down. Thank you, Gary Gensler, the head of the CFTC at the time. How could you be the global standard for sound derivative regulation when all you do is facilitate the rig? Embarrassing. All right. Three former JP Morgan traders, commodity traders, were fired for communicating on personal devices, have found new jobs on Wall Street. Don't forget, JP Morgan is currently in a deferred prosecution agreement, a DPA, which lasts for 3 years, saying they cannot commit any more crimes in the precious metals sector. They did. So this is null and void. And what happens, they are supposed to be extending the deferred prosecution. They're supposed to be sending them to jail. At any moment, JP Morgan and friends can be tried for treason, tried for RICO charges, means conspiracy to commit crimes. And here's three more people committing crimes at JP Morgan's precious metals. Nothing new. Scary. Anyway, that's where we are. I was going through Zero Hedge to see what was new, and it's like everything is. The world is so amazingly out of control, and yet stock market's at all-time highs. How do they do that? And silver's at lows. They click a mouse. That's all it takes. I've been screaming this for so long. Computers and derivatives control our markets. That's why I got kicked out of the Silver Summit back in the early 2000s, 2007, 2008. I'm giving a speech about showing the people all the derivatives that Blythe Masters was using and where she came from. Credit default swaps was Blythe Masters' baby at JP Morgan. She created that market. She didn't originate it, but she ran with it and built it to $50 billion or whatever it was, and then it crashed. And then what did Jamie Dimon do? Put Blythe Masters in charge of the precious metals. Precious metal rigging. I've been screaming this for so long. Alan Greenspan was a computer expert, the #1 financial computer expert on the planet. He blames himself for the Y2K problem because he's the guy who programmed those 2 digits instead of 4. This goes back to the 60s when Alan Greenspan's mentor, a guy named Arthur Burns, the head of the Federal Reserve System, had Alan Greenspan implement computer programs to rig markets, all markets, and it got taken over by JP Morgan, by Goldman Sachs, all facilitated by the Exchange Stabilization Fund out of the U.S. Treasury, which got us to today. Otherwise, this entire system would have been shut down as soon as we went off the gold standard in 71. But since then, there have been no free markets. There are no free markets anymore in the world. None. All of them, every single one is controlled by computers and derivatives. And mostly out of the Fed New York and the basement of the U.S. Treasury, working with the criminal banks who are allowed to skim money off the top. JP Morgan skims a lot more than other people. $5 trillion a day goes out of the JP Morgan Money Center in Florida. $5 trillion coming in and going out. And Trump charged JP Morgan with RICO charges, racketeering charges, means a conspiracy to commit crimes, financial crimes in precious metals. Jeff Curry came out and said, oh, there's no such thing. Jeff Curry and Jeff, what's the little bastard's name? The CPM group guy. You know, the guy with the wig? I always forgot his name because he's an idiot and an asshole. Jeffrey, yeah, I forgot it. That's how important that asshole is. But he is the #1 guy claiming, oh, there's no such thing as manipulation, even though JP Morgan had literally over 6, probably 10 traders admit they were rigging markets. Even though a CFTC chairman came out and admitted that the United States of America allowed JP Morgan to rig markets because it was a political decision. This is insane. We got to get out of here, and it's going to get ugly. Get your physical silver. If you don't have a local coin shop, contact my guy, Andy Scheckman, Andy, A-N-D-Y, at milesfranklin.com. Say, hey, Andy, I need some physical silver. Can you ship it to my front door? What can I get? Always go for what he's got in the inventory so he can ship it right to you. You don't want to be waiting for anything right now. This game can fall apart at any moment. China can shut their doors at any moment. The rating agencies could actually do their job and declare Evergrande in default at any moment, throwing a gigantic monkey wrench. And the ramifications of all the other companies that are going to fail when Evergrande is completely failed. When they are in default, the cross default, it's all Western law. It's got nothing to do with the CCP. They don't give a shit. And that should be clear to everybody. Anyway, go to roadtoruda.com, check it out. Also check out my timeline on the private road. Evergrande plays a huge part of January, and that's happening right now. Go check out that timeline on the private road. Also see the addition to my Cliff High interview. You can see the original Cliff High interview on the public road. It's right there for everybody to see. Cliff High on the fate of silver and humanity. Go to roadtoruda.com. Put your name and email in, and I'll give you updates on what's happening going down the road to Ruda. This is Bix Weir. I will talk to you.